Hey, everybody. Everyone. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another DMV League Art Talk Tuesdays. I am so glad that you came to join us this evening, especially that it's the beginning of Black History Month. So what a great way to start with honoring our Black women, right? So I'm going to call in Sonia 1 second. Let me just see here. Hope you guys are all enjoying your evening. Let me see. Let's see. I forgot how to do it. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Sonia. Where are you, Sonia? Okay. So I'm going to bring in Sonia now. So, yeah, let's see. She coming in. Hey, Sonia. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited that you're here this evening.
Yes,
Shaking it up, right?
absolutely.
Yes, girl. And we are celebrating Black History Month. So what better way to celebrate with us Black women as artists, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I was trying to think about different things to ask as Black women. You know, uh, where we inspire each other and encourage each other. And I just want to know what artists out there as females inspire and encourage you.
Oh, that's an easy one for me. A female artist that inspires me is Bisa Butler. Yeah, so when we were actually able to go to our Basel, for Miami Art Week, we were at the art show that was essentially the Black version of Basel,
Yeah.
and she was there. I was able to actually meet her and talk with her about my art. She followed me back. I was like, yes. So every time sometimes I post things, and I see her like it, sometimes I get a little giddy. But she recently did this portrait of Chadwick Boseman, which was really
Oh,
awesome.
okay.
Usually, like I haven't done a lot of celebrity portraits in a long time, but
Mhm.
that image that she did almost made me want to pick it back up because it was just the way that she like interpreted and the imagery and stuff was there. I thought it was really great. So that she's definitely, top of my list as far as
Mhm.
like inspiration. Yeah.
Yes, awesome. And what would you say was the most um I don't know if I would use inspirational, but what is the one thing that she may have told you to take with you after leaving
Mhm.
Art Basel, if
Yeah, I
anything?
mean, yeah, so our like interaction was really short. I was being like a groupie a little bit trying to get some pictures in.
Right.
But when I showed her my work, I think what I took away from it was just that she praised it and was like, this is your work. Oh, let me follow you. And so
Mm,
that kind of just gave me the additional push that I needed, additional, courage for me to have confidence in myself to, move forward. She has her own different shows at museums now, and I've been
yeah.
following her career for a while. So I think just her admiration of some of the pieces that I've done, even though we didn't exchange words too much, but just her acknowledging what I've done and saying that it was good, was just the pat on the back that I needed to just continue on. So
Hmm.
that's what I took away.
Awesome. Awesome.
Hmm.
Yes. And I mean, I know that we had a ball at Art Basel. It was, I know for me, an experience I'll never forget. What was it like
Hmm.
for you overall?
Well, overall, it was great. If you remember, I was sick the whole time.
Yeah.
I think was there like the first day. was great. We were running around just getting settled, and then the very next day I got really sick. And so like it was like every morning I was like, I gotta go up, go to Spectrum, be next to the art, talk about my work. So it was just me kind of like soldiering on.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, it was just like a blast. I loved meeting different artists. I love, talking about art, going to the different shows, and, also just seeing artists who I've, also admired, across, the interwebs, Instagram, their websites and things like that.
Right.
Went to like the Prism Art Fair. I think I went on the last day, saw like the festivities were over, but of course the art was still up.
Right.
And so just being in that environment, and then also seeing like the murals. I love murals.
Oh yeah.
And just being in that just art environment was just like, dang, I quit my job. I didn't do that because, I still gotta get paid out here. But
Right.
but that was my first time. I could literally remember years ago thinking, learning about Basel and, being early in my kind of art career, and it was just like,
Right.
dang, will I be able to go to Basel? And then boom, thanks to the league, thanks to Kiana, I was able to take advantage of that opportunity, and I'm very thankful and blessed for it. Yeah.
Right. Oh man. I mean, I think again, like for all of us, it was like a dream come true, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, and I think what was also like just great was that we were Black up in there.
Right.
It was like the little Black corner, and they put us in the back. I don't want to get in trouble, but we were like in the corner. We were all together, and we were just all supporting one another. And I think like what it was like on Saturday when that was like a lot of people came, where you had a lot of collectors and stuff. So it was
Yeah.
just like an overall really, really great experience and learning curve for me, because I've never done anything like that before.
Right.
My first exhibit was with Gateway and DMV League, the Black History Month.
Right.
And so went from, that, which was a great opportunity as well, up to, the big leagues, which is, an international showcase. So
Exactly.
I'm still a little shocked by
I
it,
know,
to be
right?
honest. But looking to move on and see what's next,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's so exciting that we got to experience that, and God willing, we'll get to experience it again in the future. You know,
Yes.
what was a few of the pieces that you showed um, at Art Basel? I mean, I remember, but tell the
Mhm.
people some of
Yeah.
the
So
pieces.
interestingly enough, I just started out with three pieces, and then towards the end of the show, decided to put more at the request of other people. But
Hmm.
one of my favorite pieces is the one I did. It's called Mother and Son Dyada. It's of I think she's like a Sudanese woman holding a child, and she has some action out up in the open.
Right.
But nudity, that's it's an art form to me. And so that's one of my favorite pieces, because I think it was the first time I did two figures together, something that large on fabric.
Hmm.
Another piece I did showed was called the youngest Wadabi sister.
Hmm.
And if you don't know what like Wadabi is, it's a ethnic group on West Africa. They're like nomadic. They travel up and down the coast in Central Africa. And actually, like I did my ancestral roots and found
Oh
that
wow.
I'm a part of that tribe. So yeah, there's a lot of
Cool.
like interesting things that go into my work. But that was the piece that I did was large and also incorporated gold foil. And for all y'all who is
Oh.
thinking about incorporating gold foil in your pieces, it kicked my behind a little bit, but it was a
Wow.
good, it was a great learning experience. And I think the last one was, shoot, I forgot what it was called, but it was all centered around women.
Okay.
And then the other pieces that I did, I have these like miniature portraits, just kind of show the different faces of Africa across the continent, because sometimes people think Black Americans and African people, we all look the same, and
Yeah.
that couldn't be further from the truth. And so you just wanted to showcase that, show like, hey, this is a girl from Ghana, this is someone from Rwanda, that sort of thing,
Hmm.
just to kind of educate people a little bit.
Okay. All right. And
Mhm.
what made you want to start using fabric and different materials in your art? Like, what inspired you to do that?
Fabric carries memory. I think, even, it kind of just started with using the different textiles from West Africa, Senegal, because that was, at the time what I was kind of focusing on. But now what I do is I kind of get what is it, like the throwaway bag from my little fabric store. It's like $20. They just say, here, this is the scraps from the week or whatever.
Oh,
And I just
wow.
kind of use that. And you'd be surprised, like a piece, there's this fabric that was in the bag I just got. It reminded me of like some 70s-year-old man slacks. And so, I could use that to inspire a piece. I like
Okay.
to just paint the culture.
Right.
And so again, fabric carries memories, silks, different types of polyester. It gives another aspect to the paint, or excuse me, to the painting that I
Mhm.
can't always achieve with just paint alone. So I like to use it just as another element of my piece to, again, like I said, carry that memory, and maybe it'll resonate with folks in different ways.
Right, right, right. I think when I see your art is really inspirational because not only does it remind me of, Africa and the motherland and where our roots, come from, but I'm an artist that's attracted to color and
Mm-hmm.
design and seeing those fabrics, the shapes and the colors. It just draws you in. Was that your
Mm-hmm.
intention? You know, using the fabric and those different colors to draw your audience?
Yeah, it's also just a part of my style. I love color, I love texture, I love patterns. So
Hmm.
just for me, it's intuitive for me to be able to see different patterns that I might see in the fabric store, see some paint, and then put it together in a way that kind of harmonizes. And so that's just, like I said, I love color, I love brightness. And so, yeah, it's very intentional.
Hmm.
One of the things that I'm looking and doing, because there's a lot of things you can do with color. Color evokes mood. So if you ever seen artwork that has a lot of blues in it, that carries a certain mood. And so,
Yeah.
one of the things that I want to try to do is I'm intentional with it already, but be more intentional in the way of, like, when I create a new piece, ask myself the question, like, what kind of mood do I want? And kind of use
Okay.
that as a way to determine what color palette that I use. Because
Right.
right now I just kind of go with what the spirit tell me, girl, and and just throw it on. Oh, that look good, and people like it.
Yes, indeed. I know that's right. It's got to be some type of mood and something that
Hmm.
like draws you to it. You know what I mean? Like you're feeling it.
Hmm.
And then I think when I, for example, do an abstract piece and I'm really in it, it's just like whatever flows, whatever falls on the
Hmm.
canvas is what will be. And it turns out
Hmm.
great. And I don't know how it's going to be, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But it just turns out like, oh, wow, I've never thought this was going to come out like that. Do you feel that
Yeah.
way when you finish a masterpiece,
Yeah, especially I'm glad you brought up, because I really like your abstract work. I like the color,
Thank
like
you.
your color palette is really nice. But like I think I was listening to a few other artists talk, and you'd be surprised how other artists kind of do their process, and they'll say like, I have no plan, I have no sketch, I just go to the canvas and just do it. And
Right,
for me, as someone who kind of like to plan a little bit more, I thought
right.
that was like, ooh, that would freak me out.
Yeah.
But when I tried it, it was actually very, it kind of releases you a little bit,
Hmm.
and gets you to actually start and make more
Yeah.
pieces and not get caught up in the planning and the visioning. And then I do think a part of art are those kind of, accidents or
Hmm.
things that I didn't mean to happen. Like I had a piece where I had a circular, it's kind of wooden canvas. So it's not really canvas, but a
Hmm.
wood piece that was a circular shape,
Okay.
and I was putting the fabric on it. And before I was like, oh, I'm gonna cut the fabric off and make it, nice and kind of succinct.
Hmm.
But then when I was done with the piece and saw the fabric kind of hanging down, I was like, oh, I kind of like that. And
Mm.
so started to use, like, well, how can I hang fabric off of my pieces? And so stuff like that like would never really have happened if I'd always just kind of stuck with planning and this is what I want to do. But for some artists that works well, and you always kind of have to like find your groove and just always be open to trying new things.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Yeah, I agree with you. Speaking of trying new things, so this past summer, we were asked to do some murals
Mm.
for Black Lives Matter movement and the protests and everything. Like I asked my last two guests, Levi and Luther, how did it affect you as an artist to be able to go out there and one, be asked to do a mural on a wall? Like, how big is that, And then two, as a female Black artist, to be able to paint these images and encourage, how did that affect you? Like, tell me a little bit about your experience of the whole thing.
Yeah, the murals, it like I said before, I love murals. I think to me, there's nothing greater than doing something like a mural, because at least for me, because everyone sees it. It's outside, people drive by, walk by it, people take pictures in front of it and enjoy it, and it sends, kind of like a larger message, or your audience is larger. And I think so the first couple of murals that I helped with, I helped Kiana with her Toni Morrison mural, then I helped Luther with his mural on H Street, and that kind of gave me the experience and really the confidence too to be able to tackle it on my own. So when the opportunity came, it's like, hey, we're doing murals in Gallery Place. Do you want one? Yes. I wasn't, you still have like that fear inside because you're like, oh, I hope I don't jack this up. But,
right.
but because I had that prior experience, it, allowed me to just, Sonia, you know what to do. You've done this, you've helped with other things before. And so it's just like another confidence booster for the mural that was actually in the Murals That Matter exhibit. It was just great to me. It was, I think, the National Museum posted it, when they were doing the promotion for the exhibit. I saw it on the news a few times. And again, just we were talking about Basel, just like dream come true. I'm like, wow, I went from just doing stuff in my little corner of my apartment, applying for this, artist call for Black History Month, and then and I think Luther and also Levi just mentioned the importance of having an artist community surrounding you, so we can all build off of each other's success. It was just really great, and I was very happy on the opening day.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And what is your most memorable experience during all of that?
Definitely, well, memorable in this way. So the first mural that we did for that whole, not necessarily paint the storefronts, but painting murals in Gallery Place, Chinatown, was I started one mural, which was the first one I did, and needed to come back the second day to finish it. To come to find out that I think that store had already made plans for some reason to take the boards down. So when I got there, it was gone. And of course I was a little PO'd, but the most I was hurt. You spend like that's hours of time in the elements. I was hot. I was sweating. Putting in work. And so when that happened, I was really hurt by it. But because of let's see how God works here. But because of that incident, I was able to do two other ones.
Amen.
And those two other ones were included in the Murals That Matter exhibit. And so something quote unquote negative came out to something very positive, and helped me as an artist. Like I think a few weeks ago I spoke to an 8th grade class about how painting and culture and that sort of thing. And so most memorable, it was hurt, but again, it came out, everything, works for your good. So that was the most memorable thing for me.
Yes, he is good, isn't he? He works all things out for your good, right? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think that one of my favorite pieces of yours, and forgive me, I don't remember the name of it, but the one that you did for the National Museum, that one. I believe it's the
Is it the
girl
one
with
with
the.
the boy, or is it the
Oh
girl?
no, 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 no! It's the girl. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's the girl with the dress on the
Mm-hmm.
side. I think it was on the side of Kiana's
Mm-hmm. It
mural.
was.
I
Cause
really,
she,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that one. Yeah, I
yeah.
really, really love that one. That just speaks volumes. And I think, um, to me, I think when little girls see that, that's inspiring as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel the same?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, growing up, 90s baby, we definitely didn't have that where I was growing up, especially California. I grew up like San that we weren't going to see that a
Mm-hmm.
little girl walking down the street. And so especially because of like the heavy foot traffic that's over there,
Right.
it was important for me to just showcase, a person of color, especially like a little girl, because a dark skinned girl is at that, because
Mm-hmm.
there's like colorism and things of that
Right.
nature. And so I just wanted them to see themselves, larger than life, take a picture in front of it, and just
Yeah.
validate who they are and their own kind of unique beauty.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's something that's really important to me.
And what about the mural that we were asked to do at the church, St. John's
Mhm.
Church?
Mhm.
What is your take on that whole experience?
Yeah, that was a great opportunity as well, because the ex-president, came out, tear some folks, holding the Bible all upside down, talking about Jesus. We that was an opportunity for us to speak back at that kind of form of oppression, and
Hmm.
just the denouncement of people of color. And the piece that I did, it was a little boy kind of giving a salute, and then on his shirt it said, "Peace be still."
Mm.
And yeah, and so if y'all, we're gonna have church on here. All y'all Bible readers, peace be still came from when
Amen.
Jesus was, yeah, no, it
Hallelujah.
came in from Jesus was telling the storm to be still. And so that was like the
Exactly.
message that I wanted to see. So it's kind of like, we're saying to that this air, especially because like during the time there was just so much unrest. And so I
Hmm.
just wanted to send a message like peace is coming,
Yes.
Yes, ASB carry, amen. um,
Amen.
yes, so, that's coming, and it's around the corner, and the authority, has the final say. And so that's what I wanted, that message to be clear.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to actually backtrack to the beginning of
Mm-hmm.
Sonia and what was it that started you on your journey as an artist? Like, what was it that was like, I want to do this, I want to be an
Mm-hmm.
artist.
Yeah, it's crazy because as I think about this, the very first memory that I have of like, ooh, I want to draw and paint. I remember when I was maybe 2 or 3. The earliest memory of it was when my dad used to draw. He kind of stopped doing it because back in those days that just wasn't something that you can make money off of, right? During that time. And so I remember him, I was like, can you draw my eyes? And, he drew my eyes and showed it to me. And I was just kind of like wowed by that. And
Hmm.
I think that kind of spurred off a few different things. I remember my mom, I would always be excited going to Barnes and Noble. I was like a book nerd.
Oh,
Let me get these how to draw books, and in the libraries, check out, more how to draw books, how to draw horses, how to draw trains, and what
okay.
books I'm talking about. Like I look at
Hmm.
them now and I'm like, this is trifling, because like they'll show you like, oh, these are 2 circles, and then they'll show you these 2 other things, and then now it's like a fully shaded horse, and there was no
Right.
instructions in there at all. And
Right.
but I use that
Exactly.
as like a base. And then I had a history teacher, strangely enough, when I was in middle school, he, would be like, I actually have an art degree and I could teach art. So during our history course, he actually taught us how to draw faces
Oh,
and do
wow.
the proportions and
Right.
everything. And
Hmm.
so and ever since then, I've been drawing and painting faces and
Okay.
just getting better. And, now, the age of YouTube and information is everywhere. I would just continue to watch that and hone my craft. in my, we're not like a closet artist, not really
Right.
putting myself out there. I was just doing it for myself. I mean, I
Okay.
did do like pancakes and booze a
Mm-hmm.
few times,
Yeah.
but I think it wasn't until, as I mentioned before, I applied for goodness, the Black History Month exhibit
Mm-hmm.
at Gateway, really like shortly after my father died. That's, kind of bring it full
Okay.
circle. That I was able to have a more like professional career, getting, more what is it, high profile opportunities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. And I heard you mention that you came from
Hey,
California.
Division.
Huh?
No, I'm just saying hi to people joining.
Oh. Hey, everybody. If you're joining in right now, we're talking all things art with Sonia, our guest here today for Black History Month. And I just wanted to actually backtrack a little bit. Want to say thank you for the opportunity to DC Bids
Hmm.
and also, let me see,
And paint.
and Paint
Paint.
Institute. Sorry,
Hmm.
forgive me. But yeah, so I was gonna ask, were you originally? Are you originally from California?
Yes, I am from the Bay Area. I moved around quite a bit.
Okay.
So lived in Oakland for a while. You might not know the cities, but lived in
No,
Oakland for a while.
I know the cities. I'm
Okay,
very
okay, good, good.
well
So yeah, we're from the
seasoned.
town.
Yes.
Yes, I'm from the town. And was it lived in Hayward for a while, lived in
Okay.
San Leandro for a while too. So really like a
Nice.
Bay Area chick out here.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, came out here, went to Howard, and my job was out here, so that's why I'm
So
still
that's what
here.
brought you out here. Okay.
Hmm.
HU.
Hmm. Yes. Whoop whoop.
There you go.
Yes.
So, I wanted to ask, when you paint and you've gone to, I noticed you said that you've gone to different schools and talked to kids and stuff. What is some of the things that you share with them as an
Yeah.
artist and a female artist at that?
So the class visit that I did, the class was the eighth grade class, and I forgot what it was called. It was like civil rights movement,
Mhm.
something like something like that.
Okay.
And so what I was kind of talking through them was like how I like we would had this whole conversation about culture.
Hmm.
What is culture? I was asking them to define culture from themselves. Had them do an art project that said like put using your words, using paint or what have you, to use something that represents your culture.
Hmm.
And so I had them talk through that a little bit. But when I did, my mini artist talk, I kind of just talked through, a kind of like a truncated version of what my process is for painting a piece if I'm like really focusing on culture. So I believe, there was 4 parts. I was like, what are different aspects or facets of culture? I was like, well, it's how we live, going through day to day. I was like, I don't know about you. I got to put my hair up at night.
Mm.
Because, and, there's do-rags and there's headscarves. So that's something that can be very cultural to, Black Americans and, Black
Right.
people across the diaspora. Then I was like, well, it's how we resist too. When
Hmm.
we resist, it's another form of unity. And there's new symbolism and stuff that comes out of it. So I brought up like the Black Panther movement, um how we have the full black, we have the berets, that
Right.
now is a thing.
Yeah.
And I talked about a few other things, but I was just kind of walking them through that, and then at the end showed them the piece that kind of incorporated all those parts together,
Hmm.
that I did just especially for that class. So
Hmm.
the kids loved it. My favorite part, especially when I see young women, there was a young girl, and she was showing me her piece, and just asking me questions, and when you see that the light go off and they're
Mm.
like, aha, I was like, I did my job.
Yes.
I
Yes.
did my job.
That's
So that
so yeah,
that's why I do it.
that definitely helps when they come to you and they show you something that they've done, um, that truly means, they're taking something from it, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I think a lot of times they see us doing this art, and we may think that it's not, you
Mm-hmm.
know, touching their lives, but it truly is. Like I
Mm-hmm.
know for my niece and nephew, they're like, "Oh, I always want to paint and draw." Now my nephew's drawing. What in you know who in your life, whether it be young or old, has come to you and said, "I'm inspired because of you, and
Mm-hmm.
you drew me to want to paint or draw."
That's a good question. I think definitely in the classroom when we opened it up for questions, the teacher like kind of said to me afterwards. She was like, I had a lot of aspiring artists in this class.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, especially, now people say like, oh, you have like the starving artists, you don't really make a lot of money. That's the stuff that I heard. And so some of the students from the class, the teacher told me they had a new kind of lease on it, on
Uh-huh.
the topic of taking up art as a profession. I had to be real with them and
Right.
say, we gotta pay our bills, we gotta live, we want to travel, we
Mm-hmm.
want to do what we want to do. And you have to be realistic about your situation. But
Right.
if it's in your heart and you have the drive, and you have to take a really hard look at yourself and be real with yourself and know where you are, then go after it. Don't do it halfway.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, like, some of the students kind of expressed to the teacher, who then told me,
Okay.
said that it was inspiring to them.
Uh-huh. And were you asked to go to any other schools to talk or
That was the first one, but I did it for two classes.
okay.
Yeah, Thursday. I think it was like a Thursday and a Friday.
Okay.
Same course, but just different sections.
Oh, okay. Awesome. And would you ever consider going out again and sharing your talents with the younger
Oh,
generation? The younger
absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
the young folks. Yeah, no, I didn't mean to cut you off,
No, no,
but
no.
yeah, absolutely. I have and know people who are like principals at schools, and it's been something I've been wanting to pick up, and I was happy that this opportunity came around because I was able to, kind of put some materials together.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like slides and everything. And so it's definitely something that I can repeat again
Mm-hmm.
or add to.
Okay. That's awesome. I know
Mhm.
that's it touches our hearts, right? When we do stuff like
Mhm.
that, to just share and encourage the young folks. Being that it's Black History Month, what is one of the, if any,
Mhm.
most favorite paintings that you've done of a Black uh, artist, actress,
Mhm.
um, like anybody like Martin Luther King,
Mhm.
anybody like that? Have you ever done a painting of anyone that's from our history?
Yeah, I haven't done like celebrities or public figures in a while,
Mm-hmm.
but when I was learning how to just be better at painting portraits, I did one of like Bob Marley. I did one of
Mm-hmm.
like Mary J. Blige, and
Okay.
trying to think of, like, I did a few people. I don't know if I have like a favorite one, but it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely something that I've done in the past.
Uh-huh.
May or may not. Ooh, and I'm lying. I am lying. I'm lying through my teeth. The last thing I did, I know SP is gonna hit me. There's a great opportunity that I did with SP. He looped me in. It was the She's Got Next gala.
Oh,
It was like a
okay.
month or so ago. It was like fundraising kind of platform. And I was live painting. I was doing a live painting of Miss Fannie Lou Hamer, and
Mm-hmm.
doing that live. And that one was probably one of my actually favorite ones. That's more
Okay.
recent. I think they're circulating and selling limited edition prints of it, and it was really cool because Anthony Ham, they didn't tell nobody. We were on there doing like the mic checks and making sure everyone's
Wow.
what is it, their video was fine. And then
Mm-hmm.
next thing I know, Anthony Hamlin come on. I'm like, well, y'all didn't tell me that. So it was really cool. And then they had like recordings of was it Elizabeth Warren and
Oh,
Hillary
nice.
Clinton. And so it was just, I was just like, dang, I didn't know it was gonna be like, I think I'm just painting, but it was just like a really kind of like part of history because it was a part of like the organization that organized it along with others, but it was like higher heights for America,
Mm-hmm.
and they're responsible for getting women of color elected.
Right.
And seeing other people are saying Prince.
Yeah, I saw that. It was just like, okay, they want to know if you did Prince.
Because that was the first one that I sold at Pancakes and Booze.
Oh,
And
wow.
then 7 days later he passed away.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. That
Yeah.
is crazy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And you sold it?
Um,
You said you sold it?
yeah, I sold it at
Dang.
Pancakes and Booze. I think it was my first time doing a show like that, and that was the first one that I first paste that I ever sold.
Wow.
And yeah, and then he passed away.
I hope you sold it for a pretty good penny.
Probably not as much as I could have, but we learn. We learn.
Yes.
We-
Yes.
yeah.
Girl. Oh my goodness. Yeah. If you would have held on to it a few more days, Lord forgive me for saying that. But oh my goodness. Yeah, that's what is the most craziest experience that you've had as an artist in selling and buying and all that kind of stuff?
Crazy experience that I have is, I guess, more with painting murals because
Mm-hmm.
when you're out there for like hours, right,
Right.
at a time, and then a whole lot of characters come by, and then also it's very the strangest, the wildest thing. Oh, I ran the post. Oh yeah, I remember that. Just looking at the
Oh
the
yeah.
comment,
Sonia.
but yeah. The wildest thing that happened to me was I'm painting this mural, the one that was at the National Building Museum, not the girl, but the Panther Party, the one with the boy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And there was this guy, he kept coming. He lived in like the apartments, like that was right there, like the Gallery Place apartments. He kept
Mm-hmm.
coming back out, kept coming back out. It was like, oh, I want to check your checking the progress, and I wasn't really sure like his intentions because it's people crazy nowadays.
Girl.
And so as soon as I got the vibe, like I put my guard down. I was like, okay, you're cool. He didn't offer me adult beverages, and I was like, okay, thank you. Until I was kind of talking about, oh, I don't know where I want to put the BLM, not like the full Black Lives Matter, but
Right.
just the acronym BLM. I was thinking
Right.
about like, where am I going to put this? And then he was like, well, what about on his neck? And yes.
What?
Yes.
Oh my God.
and I'm not going to say the ethnicity of the person, but
Oh
we
my
can all
gosh.
guess. But and so like it's, as I said, as soon as I put my guard down, then I was just like, see, that you just got to be careful out here. But that was probably like the one of the wildest thing that's happened, because I was just like, why would you say that?
That is crazy. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember some crazy characters coming up to me, and I was just like, look, I'm in my zone. Like, leave me
Right.
alone.
Right.
So,
I mean, it's love.
yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes it ain't. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you never know. People are strange. So, we're gonna see about some questions going on here. So I'm gonna open up for questions. If anybody has any questions, you can put it in the question mark below. I already see a question here, so I'm gonna go ahead and ask that. Actually, two questions. Okay. So the first one is from Roger, and he says, for both of you ladies, when you do murals, do you generally have someone else with you? I'll let you go since you are the guest.
Okay. So for the ones that I did by myself, no, not necessarily working with me, but I think the one of the great things that happened while we were all kind of doing the murals together was that I was right here SP was over there, Kiana was down the street, you and Luther were around the corner. So like if I needed help with something or wanted someone to just get their opinion or thoughts, it was, I just needed to walk over and ask. But
Right.
I think for all those murals, like everyone was responsible just for the mural that they did. I know I didn't have anyone do any extra work on it, but I think when helping Luther with his, especially doing them that large, you need help. It's just because you're just covering so much space and not everything is intricate and you can't be everywhere. And
Right.
so definitely like having help is something that I would look forward to in the future.
Right. Yeah, and I same here. Everybody was there. So it's always better to have people with you than by yourself, especially if you're just starting doing murals. But it was an awesome experience. So yeah, let me see. What's this other question? The other question is from Nefertiti. She says, if you could choose, what era in art history do you gravitate to the most? If you know, then why? Good question.
That's a good question. I'm like, that's one of our school questions.
I
I'm like,
know,
girl,
right?
I'm like, girl, I ain't go to art school. I'm like, definitely. I don't think. Well, what I would. So okay, so not necessarily maybe what we would consider as eras in art, but I'm always inspired. I watch a lot of anthropology documentaries. And so I look at the art forms of ancient cultures a lot. And so that's really inspired. It's interesting because some people would say like, oh, they didn't do, the realism like we associate with the Renaissance period because they didn't know how. But really, if you look deeper into it, when they do symbolism, they're doing people, it means something else. There's a purpose for it. So like if you look at the Ethiopian
Oh yeah.
Christian, okay, I'm getting it all messed up. Christian Orthodox, Ethiopian Orthodox Church, and if you look at some of the like their religious depictions of the Bible and stuff, they would always kind of draw people with kind of like big eyes, and that means like intelligence and stuff like that. So to me, I look at that because there's like a deeper meaning and a deeper way you can kind of visualize and put things on a canvas, and is there symbolism to it? So to answer the question, I guess I am inspired by ancient cultures.
Okay. Ancient cultures. Yeah, I think that's for me too. Like I love the Egypt era. Like I really love the art during that time. I have another question from Kat. Her name. I'm sorry if I'm jacking it up. How much of your craft would you say is God-given talent versus training and practice? That is an awesome question. Thank you.
That's a good question. I mean, I think we all are given gifts. I do think that it was, a gift given to me, and I think a part of it is just having the determination and the drive to want to get better at a certain thing. I think I read somewhere and it was like artists, we like there's no reason for it. Why are you painting things on what is that, what does that have to do with surviving day to day, getting food, having shelter, why do you want to create? And so I think the God-given gift is just having the desire to want to do it, and then have the kind of the fortitude to continue to get better at it and push yourself to have to push the bar on the quality of your worth. So I think it's not one or the other, it's definitely both, like two sides of the same coin.
Luther says mental health. I'm assuming he means like it helps with your mental health. So
definitely. I'd be crazy sometimes. I'll be like, let me go in here, put something on the canvas to just kind of clear my mind.
Absolutely.
But yeah, mental health plays a role as well.
Let me see. So I don't know. how to pronounce that name, but what type of products do you use? Oh, okay. Not how to, I'm sorry if I'm jacking up your name. Sorry. I'm not going to even try. That's why I'm just like, my apologies. Sir.
Yeah. For my oil paints, I use just like Winsor & Newton. For acrylic, I use Liquitex. I don't use acrylic too much. When I do spray point, what is spray point? Spray paint. I do spray paint. I started out just doing Rust-Oleum because I was like, ooh, the Montana cans, how the price point looks like. Let me just practice a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually want to give a shout out to Des and Levi on the Dang products. I'm looking into the Dang spray cans, and so I'm working with them just get like a starter kit because right now all my murals they're hand painted, and the last mural that I did. I felt like there were some areas I could have been more efficient by using spray paint, and so I'd rather support fellow artists in their creative ventures and go out and get Montana, though I'll probably get that too, but definitely would support the Dang
brothers.
product.
Yes. Absolutely gotta support our brothers. I've got some more questions. Okay. Let's see. Where do you see yourself in your art career in the next 5 years?
Well, if I get all my prayers answered, I really would there's this artist, I forget, it's called like his name is Jag or something like that. He lives in St. Lucia and he just paints what he sees every day, and that's his life. He was like a former Sesame Street illustrator,
right,
or like graphic artist, and so I would love to do that. I would love to be able to have my art be able to fund travels, go to different parts of the world, paint different cultures, and just also just kind of chill and relax. Like my day job, I'm a user experience designer. I work, with government, which is fun. It's another creative outlet for me. But I think this past summer, working on the murals and definitely going to Basel, I was just like, I would love to be able to do that 100% full time.
Right. Same here. Absolutely. Same here. I got another question, girl. The questions are coming for you, girlfriend.
Hey.
Let me see. It says, oh, and I'm sorry. The last person was Talisha Survived 2020. Sorry.
Hey, Talisha. It's Talisha. That's my friend.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Aristorat says, are you ever sad when you sell an art piece? That's a good question.
I had to get over that because you want to sell them because that's how you make money. But there's definitely been pieces that have just been sad to see it go. But happy to know that it goes to like a good home.
Right.
I'm trying to think like one of the. I'm sorry if y'all hear my dog in the background. He is not getting enough attention, and so he is mad at me. But yes. But one of the very first, when I did the Black History Month exhibit, there were 3 pieces in the series. Called a Black Turban, like 3 Wise Men. The one that got like the most attention was one he was wearing a blue turban, and that one sold, and I wanted to cry a little bit because like I like that one, but that is just part of the process, I think I remember Jay Dura said, that just, I think I said something like, oh, my babies are gone. But then he was like, oh, this gives you opportunity to make new babies. Not, get a bump, but, make new pieces. And so that's just how you get over it. I think it's part of the business.
Yeah, just keep going and knowing that it's inspiring someone else. Okay, so this is the last question, you guys. And I have it from our brother, Levi. Says, how do you challenge yourself? That's a good question.
I mean, that's a great question. I think we all, one, you have to take a real good look at yourself and know, like, what are parts of a painting, at least for me, during portraits and figures that you kind of shy away from. I know a lot of people, if they're drawing figures, they put the hands behind the back or not show it at all. And so one of the first steps that I do is just acknowledge that. It's just like, okay, I know that I don't do this enough, or I kind of shy away from it. So to me, that's an indicator that, you need to work on it more, you need to practice more. And it's so that when, like, I think about when I go to the canvas, it's like it's your artistic expression. And so you don't want to limit yourself because of fear or like lack of confidence or being able to execute. So it's like you have the vision, but you also have to execute, and there's the work behind getting, that execution part down. And so one is just always being have like some type of self-reflection and, understanding like where my development areas are, and not be afraid to take it on sometimes, because you never know. I think the beautiful thing about art is that you especially like doing portraiture and stuff, is that it does not have to be realism. I think a lot of people get stuck in their head about that, like they have to get everything 100% right, or like it's a photograph, and you don't have to do that. And I think the moment where like I realized that, it just opened things up for me a little bit more.
Yes. Okay, so you guys, after these 3 questions, that's it. I'm not asking any more questions because we're almost out of time. So I'm gonna. Oh my God, you are blowing up with the questions, girlfriend. Look at you. Okay,
black no magic. Amen.
It says from Kiana, it says, what is the best advice that you have gotten from a fellow artist? And then the one after that is, are you ever sad? Okay, he already asked that question. Never mind. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, the best advice that I got was when we were in Basel. This was actually from Luis, because it was Jay Dura, it was Luis, and then myself, and I think we were on like one of the last couple of days, and no one sold anything except for Nina. Nina was the only one who sold something for that time. But I would see one of the I guess organizers, he was telling me, you look at people's eyes and you can kind of tell where people are landing and spending more visual time on. And so I would do that. And not to say people didn't look at my work, but it wasn't to my liking, to my expectation. And so I started to just be a little discouraged by it. I was like, dang, do I need to change what I'm doing? Like, is this not, is this not the business? And then, I came over and, kind of spoke to Luis, and he was, had to remind me. I was like, no, your stuff is good. Like, not everyone can be here. We were all sponsored to go. And so, like, just continue to keep doing you.
Right.
And so, that was probably because, girl, I was like, I don't say I was getting ready to cry or anything, but I was just really like, damn, I came here, I had all these expectations, and then I thought I was gonna blow up. I'm about to be the next candidate Wiley up in here. But then it did happen, which is okay.
Right.
And so that just kind of, gave me the extra push to just keep the head up and keep it moving, and stick to you and what you do, and just continue to grow. So again, it kind of goes back to making sure you're surrounded by people who support you, and having that artist community. There's been plenty of other conversations I've had. I have conversations with Luther, conversations with Kiana, but the one with Luis, because it was like Basel, that was the one that came up off the top of my head.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to cut off the questions, you guys, because y'all still asking questions. But if you have any questions and you it didn't get answered tonight, you can always go over to our DM page, or DM us the question and we'll answer it for you. But let me see. Shout out to PG Co Arts and Humanities. Yes, thank you so much for everything that they've done for us as well. So I just want to ask if you have any last remarks or comments or anything for the audience before I let you go?
Yeah, I mean, I know like this is great. We're doing things virtually and we're having fun and inspiring one another, but we know it's like a pandemic, things are happening with families
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And so, the message that I guess we'll send to everyone is just focus on the things that matter, your health, your family, your friends, and then try to find a way to give back to the community. And I feel like if you do that, it's hard to not win,
Amen.
because you'll have the support system, and I feel like you always feel better when you give back. So just focus on the stuff that matters.
Amen. Well, that
Hmm.
was well said. Thank you
Amen.
so much for coming and spending this hour with us on the DMV League art page, Art Talk
Not a problem.
Tuesdays. It's been a blast, Sonia. I'm so glad that you were able to grace us at the beginning of Black History Month and all
Yes.
women. Yes, empowerment for women. Yes, right?
Yes. No, thank you for being a great host. Then, of course, DMV League fam
Yes.
all day. So we're just gonna keep it moving, man.
Absolutely. Keep it going. Yes, indeed. Well, thank you so much. I'm just going to close out and I appreciate you. I'll see you soon, girl.
All right,
Have a
see ya.
bye.
Bye.
So, thank you so much, everybody, for joining another Art Talk Tuesdays here on the DMV League Art page. And I hope to see you all next Tuesday, where we'll have our next guest. Just be on the lookout for that. We'll most likely post it this week sometime. Welcome to Black History Month, where we're doing all things Black history, empowerment, you name it, Black Lives Matter, all of that good stuff. So without further ado, I want to thank you guys for coming and enjoying this lovely evening with us. And I hope to see you guys soon. If you have any questions or comments, please, again, leave them in the comment page in our DM or email us. We'll leave all that information below. All right. Talk to you soon. Have a lovely evening and happy Black History Month, y'all.